I'm just waiting for the car to be moved out of the driveway so I can go drive around, talk some shit. Um, Everything I say, just like for the record, um, take it with a grain of salt. I am diagnosed with unspecified psychotic disorder, so what I see might not be exactly what's happening in the world. That's what I say. Like reality is subjective and all that. But yeah, I want to talk about a little about that and what I went through years ago. Oh, so back in the day, the first round of psychosis happened like 2022, 2023, something like that. Maybe it started from like 2019, but I don't remember. Um, yeah, yeah, around 2022, 2023 was when the echoes, as I call them, would tell me to do things. So they took me to a hotel in Toronto to wait for a famous woman to come down and get me. Because not only was she holding $1 million, she was also like gonna marry me or whatever. So yeah, that was 7 months that I went to the lobby of a hotel to go wait for hours and hours until they kicked me out. But yeah, it was this whole thing. Like it was in the music, the radio, Instagram, TikTok. When it started, it was everywhere. I would get so anxious when I would stay. I quit my job at the time, and I had enough savings to like not be able to work for like 7 months. But I like burned through them, literally just going to Toronto and back, which is probably the dumbest way to spend $10,000. Yeah, I guess like why do all this with my condition? Like talk like as if I know what I'm doing, or like as if I know what like anything that I'm saying is true. Like I don't expect this to be big, but I might expect it to like I don't know like give me a way to sustain myself eventually. And I'm kind of like positioning myself to just talk about what I'm interested in and try a shit ton of stuff that I want to try. Let the business pay for it, in a sense. It's still my money because I'm not making any money from this yet. Um, so yeah, That was the first part of the psychosis. Then it like evolved to like it wasn't just one woman. It was like a bunch of them. And then when I stopped going to the hotel because I knew she wasn't gonna come down, then it would be a different woman and things like that. And then like it got bigger and bigger. Like people would bet on me going or not going, and of course that game was rigged. Um, because they could control if I go or not, depending on how anxious they made me. They meaning like people in my head, I guess. Um, yeah, it's weird, but like in my head, I think that anxiety is like the break of free will. So like when there's another will inside yourself, that's what anxiety is. But of course, that's just like in my world. Um, yeah, I don't think I've ever talked about this out loud. Pretty vulnerable right now. Um, I've written stories about it. I have it on my website, placeinbetween.com. And that name came up because um, I was looking for the place, meaning like this thing online, like Twitter, like app or like service where like people were talking shit about me, and that's what I would try to find, but never could hire a personal a PI, um, investigator, private investigator, and they couldn't find anything about me, like in that sense, or they couldn't find the place, I guess. So I made place in between because it's the place where I make sense of stuff. I just got caught off by a car. Um, yeah, right now I'm medicated. I'm taking antidepressants and antipsychotics. Um, but I'm moving the antidepressants down to up the antipsychotics by like, of course, help of my doctor to do that. Um, but honestly, like I'm gonna try it out for a month, but I honestly rather be not depressed than not hear echoes. Like it's the trade-off is not worth it for me. But I'm gonna try for a month and see how I feel if I can take the dose because the antipsychotics make me really tired. Smoke break. Um, yeah, the second part of the psychosis started before I like started taking medicine. My face was being used by like people online and quote unquote driven. Like people would record. The whole thing is about like hackers. So that's what I kind of want to learn to like help my psychosis and like if I can protect myself, then I don't have to worry about like people being inside the network or like things like that. Um, but yeah, like anything I say, like everywhere because the phone is pretty much a mic that they could turn on or off however they want it. So anything I said, like they would record it, put it through an AI, and then like have relationships, like friendships and like jobs and um, like romantic relationships with other people using my face, which is why I had the mask, and my voice, which it didn't matter. Well, at the time of the hotel, I ended up making a podcast, which was just reading my stories. Um, so like they had enough um, content to create this like profile or whatever. I always end up coming out at like rush hour and get stuck in traffic. But yeah, this was the part of the psychosis that like it's like the newest page of it, and like the only way I can like fight them off is to tell like through here, like in my world, of course, to tell in here and like hope if that is actually happening, hope that people will find it and realize the truth that it was never really me, even though it was my face, which is like kind of hard to like understand, I guess. Of course, I have no idea if this is really happening or not because the echoes told me this is what's happening. So yeah, I guess that's the reason why I'm doing this. I was kind of wondering to like, why do I keep doing this if like no one sees it? But I guess that might be the reason for me. It's the only way I can fight them off. All right, I'll see if this one gets more views, making it shorter. So I think I'll end the video right there. Goodbye.